Cold Cans Nation, get ready to pick your spot because you're a fan, you're dedicated, you've poured your lifeblood, your soul, your heart into your favorite team. Well, get out there, buy yourself your favorite jersey, your favorite shirt, your favorite jersey, your favorite hat, whatever you need to do. Buy it from coldcanspodcast.com/fanatics, and you're going to get up to 50%, not 20%, 50%. Can you even believe it? 50% off your favorite products. That's Steph Curry jerseys. That's fucking Ezekiel Elliott NFL jerseys. Whatever you need to have. Make any of them jerseys. It doesn't matter.
Are those Ezekiel Elliott jerseys half jerseys?
Yeah, they're cut off
Okay.
just below the nipples.
Great.
As he would have it himself, the Zeke. So once again, Cold Cans Nation, go to coldcanspodcast.com/fanatics. Get up to 50% off your favorite jerseys. Support your favorite teams. And again, pick your spot.
Hey, speaking of picking your spots, you heard me. I said it. Animals come with a variety of those spots. And they got colors, they got stripes, they got patterns. And one would think for each of those adaptations, there's certainly an evolutionary reason, right? Yeah, you feel me. Maybe it's for camouflage, or maybe they just want to look sexy for their friends. That's why I wear them leopard-spotted underpants. Well, there's an evolutionary biologist at the University of Texas Pan American named Zen Fox, who highlights a new idea for spots' apparent purpose, a bug repellent. In cows, at least, a mottled coat, meaning spots, can trick horseflies into pestering someone else, says Fox. Well, those spots on that cow maybe repel those bugs.
I don't give a fox.
Zen, folks, that is. You're at Zen, baby. But those spots on that cow may be repelling bugs, but a spotted cow in your beer is going to bring in all your friends. That's right, baby. Cold Cans is doing Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow Week. We're drinking Spotted Cow Week.
And Spotted Cow is strong.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Cold Cans, a very special episode of Cold Cans, because on this episode I have my wife, Devon Glocke.
That's new. Devon Glocke. Just spent 3 hours at the DMV, yesterday?
Yeah.
Changing that officially, legally.
Officially
wow.
from Crawford to Glocke.
An enjoyable 3 hours, Devon?
Pleasant times had by all
At the Seattle DMV.
400 people at the Seattle DMV with the seven counters for the entire Seattle
Hey,
nation.
we pay our taxes. You think we
Yep.
get through the
That's
DMV
good.
in a decent amount of time?
It was good.
You think with this socialist economy we're going to get funneled in any faster than that? Trump's going to lead us to a better DMV. Anyway, it took me everything that I
alienating
had.
listeners, Joe.
It took me everything I had to not say Devon Crawford, so I'm happy to say Devon Glocke.
Yeah.
And thanks for being on the show.
course.
We had to have you on the show because it is, of course, #Spotted Cow Week, and another intimidating episode that we needed a special guest to help us along to get through. We're drinking an ice cold New Glarus Spotted Cow. How do we like it? Cheers.
This is a big one, yeah. This is a very popular beer in Wisconsin, from whence we all hail.
Sure is. Speaking of the transition from Crawford to Glocke,
Yep.
it's a beer that we decided to have at our wedding ourselves.
Yes. I think this was, we had a couple of kegs at our wedding because, we're from Wisconsin. And this was one where we were like, oh, we'll just have one. We'll have one nice baer because people will get too drunk and they won't want Spotted Cow. Well, lo and behold, Joey was the go-to for the alcohol decisions. Joey himself had a few Spotted Cows and maybe a few 7, 8, 9, 10 brandy old fashions. Maybe. Decided to go ahead and tap that second keg of Spotted Cow.
The Cold Cans expert knows when it's time to tap that second keg.
I think the fault was in the decision of putting me in charge whether or not we should have another Spotted Cow. And I think the reason we had Spotted Cow at our wedding is because it was, of course, our favorite beer.
Yeah.
It's the best beer in Wisconsin. And I think that is the notion that everybody carries, whether they leave Wisconsin, currently reside in Wisconsin, ever visited Wisconsin. Spotted Cow is the beer, right?
Oh, certainly. This is the go-to of like, all right, I'm going to treat my friends. What am I going to get? I'm going to get them Spotted Cow.
Yeah. Like you go and you want to buy a pitcher, but you don't really know what to get everybody, and you're like, oh, everybody will like Spotted Cow, and that's like you kind of want to buy just Bud Light because you're cheap and everybody's buying a pitcher,
and it's light.
Nobody will really notice.
Right.
But you go above and beyond. You spend the whole $12 instead of the $8 to get that nice Spotted Cow.
If you want to come back and jack up
lager.
your overalls and say, folks, I bought a Spotted Cow for y'all, they'll all be impressed when you bring it back to your table down at Memorial Union Terrace.
It really is. It's like a head turner because Spotted Cow is something that people hold in great reverence in Wisconsin. But like Devon was saying, it's something that isn't much more than a lager. I don't know the difference necessarily is. I don't know that there's a wide chasm between Bud Light and Spotted Cow.
It's actually a cream ale, by the way.
Is
but
it
it
a
is
cream
very
ale?
light. It is very
It's
light.
cream ale.
So
All right.
whatever cream ale is a hop skipping away from a lager, to me.
Yeah, but like a lot, I don't.
Or a farmhouse ale. Sorry,
it's a farmhouse.
could also be
ale.
considered a
I
farmhouse
see.
ale.
But like, it's not a light beer. Like Bud Light is it's a light beer.
Or
Instead of,
last
like,
week's episode, we had Michelob Ultra, very light, watered down.
Yeah. So for lager standards or cream ale standards, I think it.
We'll call it a
yeah.
farmhouse ale. Let's do farmhouse
split
ale.
the
That
difference.
was
Is
my
that
bad.
because it's called Spotted
What
Cow?
farmhouse ale?
Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
They got it, and they got
It's
it
all
from
fitting.
the farms. Yeah.
But you're right. It's not. It is easy drinking though, even though it's not light. It is pretty easy drinking.
Yeah. I think that's what that idea of like when in doubt, the go-to in Wisconsin is Spotted Cow.
Spot it out.
Yeah.
When in doubt, spot it out.
That's what they say.
That's always what they say. But I think that there's. Let's address the elephant in the room, as we so often do. We had it at our wedding, Devon and I. Everybody in Wisconsin loves it. The New Glarus Brewing Company is iconic. The label is iconic. There's a cow jumping over the state of Wisconsin. I think the label changed from a white label now to like a sun setting.
It did.
Is
They
it
could
sun- it
afford
looks
one more
like it-
color on their
Is
packaging.
it suns? It looks like almost like it's just old. Like it's
Well, this
it's
could
weathered.
just be an old bottle. It
I don't
traveled all the way
know.
to
Hey.
Seattle.
It made it all the way here from Wisconsin.
That's a point to be made. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is not sold outside of Wisconsin state lines.
Right. But the elephant in the room is that in Wisconsin state lines, this is iconic. In Nick Patry personal skull, it's less than iconic.
Okay, yeah.
Nick
here's-
has a hot take.
I got a
hot
hot take.
take.
Sound the alarm. Sound the alarm and take me straight
hot take.
straight to the farmhouse. New Glarus Spotted Cow is okay. It's not. I don't think it's everything it's cracked up to be. It's made to be this big thing, and I think part of it is what we talk about a lot is branding and marketing and such. And I think New Glarus got ahead of the curve on the whole craft brewery thing, especially in the Madison area. Maybe beyond that, I don't know, but definitely in the Madison area. Like this was the first like quote unquote craft brew that you could buy in almost any place, and it is nice. It's a nice light drinking beer, but paying a premium for this type of beer is what gets my savings loving self a little worked up, because it's fine, but it's not like otherworldly.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think that had something to do with when you started drinking this? You're in college and you had no money, so the fact that they were trying to get you to pay again like $12 at the Union. Sorry, all of you Wisconsin folks will understand that, but for other listeners, it's a $12 pitcher compared to an $8 pitcher, and that $4, god damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, you're
in
rolling.
my-
You're a
like-
Rockefeller that night
Yeah,
at the
like,
Union
for
when you're going
real.
to get
Yeah,
Spotted Cow.
exactly.
Daddy Rockefeller's bringing back Spotted Cow.
And you get to walk back, spilling half of it on your drunken stupor back to your table.
And you've got
I
cups.
think that
You've got
is it.
cups in your mouth
Right.
because
Yeah,
you can't. You're carrying two pitchers, of
Yeah,
course, because
exactly.
that's how you roll.
Exactly, because Daddy
But yeah.
provides.
But like, if you would have found this beer out here in Seattle when you, or any time after college where you had, more than $20 in your savings account at all times.
Wait, I should have more than that?
Yeah, no, it's okay. Don't worry.
Shit.
We're going to have to rewind that. We're going to have to rewind.
We'll edit that out. No, it's okay. But yeah, that it's a different mindset, because I think the same thing. I remember like going to a party with Adrian, my roommate in college, and being like, we're gonna buy a 6-pack of Spotted Cow because we're hot shit. Like we're legit hot shit.
And it's the most expensive thing that one
we've
could
ever bought.
possibly
Yeah,
be.
exactly.
You could imagine.
Exactly. Like it wasn't like we're bringing a 1.5 liter of Smirnoff, just straight vodka. No, we were bringing a 6-pack of Spotted Cow.
Right.
Like that's how cool we were. So I think just the mindset of having no money and being like, well, why? Why can't I just drink Bud Lights or whatever? Keystone really is what the only thing we drank. But why can't we just drink that? So I think that has something to do with it too.
Yeah, I think that's totally part of it. And again, just the marketing of this, like Spotted Cow, like that fits in Wisconsin so well. The logo is a giant cow jumping over the state of Wisconsin with a star that's probably based in New Glarus, which is about, 40 minutes outside of Madison.
Yeah.
So very close to Madison. So I think that's a big part of it. And also in New Glarus is the brewery, and they offer some brewery tours. Personally, I've done that previously, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and my humble co-host, Joe Glocke here, was there along with me. Can you tell us about that experience, Joe?
We did the brewery tour together. I want to pump the brakes a little bit on the hatred of Spotted Cow because
Please do.
the reason we did the brewery tour is because, like Devon was saying, it was this like it was the trophy that the gold icon that Harrison Ford picks up in Indiana Jones. That was a Spotted Cow. If you could get your hands on one, you had to replace it with a bag of sand because that's how fucking valuable it was. And that's,
Is that, was that,
it took me
was that the
it took me
plot?
too long to get that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. Oh boy.
But it was okay. Point is, it was like this iconic thing as we've both all been talking about. So we went to the brewery tour. A friend of ours was like, "Let's get to New Glarus. This is supposed to be an iconic brewery, and it's making an iconic beer." And we had a great time, and we drank a bunch of beer.
Certainly.
New Glarus offers more than just Spotted Cow. They have like Twisted
Fat Squirrel,
Sister,
Moon Man.
Mamma
Man,
Mia.
Two Women.
All those.
They have one called the Bubbler now, which I like.
Ooh, really?
I like the name. I don't like
Bubbler.
the beer, but I like the name.
Okay.
'Cause I called it Bubbler.
So they have all these types of
Maybe.
beers, delicious. Cold Can's listeners, Cold Can Nations will reflect on how much we love brewery tours. But so I got bored halfway through. But when we got to the end, we were drinking beer and it was a lot of fun. And so we're all going home. We walk out to the parking lot. I'm just fine. We're on a brewery tour, for God's sakes. I'm gonna be okay. I don't think I'm getting behind the wheel. I think our buddy Matt is gonna get behind the wheel and drive us back to Madison.
Our lawyer advised us that say Matt was not drinking that day. He was.
Of course he wasn't.
He was the designated driver.
We have these souvenir cups that say Spotted Cow. Maybe they're not cups. Maybe they're glasses. I don't know. My lawyer will have to speak to that in the court of law because we walk out of the Spotted Cow. I smash the glass on the ground. It goes everywhere. There are children around.
Yeah.
There's family around. Let's just say I'm not feeling well. And I walked out of New Glarus, I guess presumably in dire straits.
Yeah, I'll still remember that. This was like a Saturday at probably 2:00 in the afternoon.
How?
People are there with their families, and we're getting rowdy because the brewery tour itself is not all that impressive. There's a tasting room, and then you can go look at 2 vats that they use. Maybe it's expanded since then, but that was what it was. Yeah. And so we're like, okay, well, I'm going to get all pissed up on these 5 drink tokens I bought at the beginning of the tour. And Joe was one of those people who was pissed up.
I got a little pissed up,
We
Devin,
walked
all right?
out. There's literally kids on these stone steps that go down to the parking lot. And all of a sudden, I'm walking down, and I hear behind me, and I look back, and Joey's back there. And then he's trying to pick up the glass shards. And we're like, okay, no.
Just stop.
Yeah, and so someone, I think, went in and told somebody, because we're very responsible, and our lawyer tells us to say so. Someone, get an employee, clean this up. We don't want anyone to get hurt.
Right. And
Yes.
yet you still married me.
Yes.
Big mistake.
But it's because I got pissed up on drinking delicious New Glarus beverages, and that's what I want to come back to. There was a lot of hatred at the top of this show about Spotted Cow, and I think it was undue. I think that we were overcorrecting for the cult favorite of Spotted Cow, hashtag Spotted Cow Week, that precipitated this show, and I think that you have to give it to it. It's certainly the best cream ale we've had because we have not had one.
Farmhouse. It's a farmhouse ale.
Well, cream ale is much more sexually suggestive. Let's read the label, can we?
It's really small.
Please.
Every drop of Wisconsin's original farmhouse ale, god damn it, is artisan brewed and bottled by the hardworking employee owners of New Glarus Brewing Company. Union owned. If it's union owned, New Glarus Brewing Company, right here in Little New Glarus, Wisconsin. Spotted Cow adheres to the, I'm not even going to try it,
Reinheitsgebot.
Well
Reinheitsgebot
done.
purity law, using only 4 hand-selected all-natural ingredients: yeast, hops, water, and malted barley. We allow yeast to remain in the bottle to enhance the fullness of the flavors, so it is naturally cloudy. So,
Hey, just like Seattle. Cloudy.
Huzzah.
expect this ale to be fun, fruity, and satisfying. You know you're in Wisconsin when you see the Spotted Cow. Only in Wisconsin. I think that gets to what you're talking about. You know you're in Wisconsin when you see the Spotted Cow. I think that Wisconsin willingly complies in this
No.
blasphemous masquerade, which is the cabal of breweries that suggests that New Glarus is on top.
Former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura is in studio. He's not happy that Spotted Cow cannot be sold in his state. In fact, I have a story relating to this very topic. If I may share it at this time.
Please do.
So back in 2016, that's 1 year ago, folks, 2 men from Maple Grove, Minnesota, Maple Tavern, who shall go nameless, allegedly in April 2015, they bought 10 kegs of Spotted Cow in Wisconsin, brought it across the border, and sold it in Maple Tavern without a license in Minnesota. They were charged with felony charges in Minnesota, and who could say what's in the rest of this article? I'm not going to read
until
it.
proven guilty, mate. That's what
But
I
they
have
were
to say,
char-
Nick.
They were charged with a felony for trying to sell Spotted Cow in
Wow.
Minnesota.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's intense.
And the article goes on to like, the article's entitled, "Wait, why can't you sell Spotted Cow beer in Minnesota?" Clickbait, taken. And it goes on. Who could say what the rest of the article says? But yeah, it's pretty.
Well, one who could read
yeah.
the article would say.
I mean, capable, and the listeners don't want it. They can imagine it themselves. That's certainly a thing. Bringing Spotted Cow out here, I drove from Wisconsin to Washington, a 28-hour drive, mind you, when you're not getting hassled by North Dakota police. And
Hold on, let's.
No,
hold on.
no,
Can we drill into that a little bit?
no, don't drive to North Dakota, people. If you're going,
All right, we'll leave it at that.
don't drive to North Dakota. And I had to bring beer, New
Out
Glarus
here,
beer,
yeah.
all the way out here
Yeah.
from there, in my own personal vehicle.
Yeah.
Charge me with a felony, folks. You'll see me in court. Our
Yeah.
lawyer is saying he will defend me.
Well, I think that's one of the allures of Spotted Cow. It is that thing that you can't get anywhere else. You can only get it in Wisconsin. It's like Culver's.
It's true.
Or does Seattle have something? I don't think so. Like In-N-Out in California,
Yeah.
or Tim Hortons in Canada. All of
Steak and
those
Shake
are
on the East
things
Coast.
that, people who are from those areas, and I know myself included, someone just went to Wisconsin and I told them, you have to go to Culver's, and they're like, what the hell is Culver's?
Yeah.
Why are you crazy lady about it? I'm like, it's not anywhere else. But like all of those, which they're just stupid fast food restaurants, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, but you can't get them anywhere else, and you're so excited to get them. And every time I get off the plane in Wisconsin, I beeline to Culver's. So
Yeah, to that
that's
point
a huge
about
thing about why like Spotted Cow is such a thing. I'm just like, oh, I can't get this anywhere else. I have to get it here.
it's like my
which makes
parents'
it- yeah.
love back in Wisconsin. I can't get that out here.
Yeah,
I can
well,
only get it
that's-
when I go home.
That's only within the state lines.
You
It
better
is.
come back.
Yeah.
Alpaca County.
If you don't come back, I'm going to be pretty upset with you, Nicholas.
But yeah, no, even the New Glarus I have out here, I ration. Like I only drink it on special occasions.
Like
It's
right
one
now.
very special
Like
occasion.
right now, yes.
Yeah.
So that speaks to that point. It is
Yeah.
such a special thing, especially now being outside of state lines.
Yeah.
So when New Glarus is inevitably purchased by AB InBev,
Hey. Pump the brakes, bucko.
and it's available from here to Saskatoon, then it won't be as special. But for now, it is. It's
But
very
now,
special.
yeah, we've got it now
So-
here in the studio.
So differing from Blatz, which we had a couple of weeks ago, Blatz was something that we grew up with, which is what made it special.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that is rare, like a diamond, that we can't get everywhere, and we must carry across state line through North Dakota to get to Washington and consume. Does that alone make it special, or does that alone enhance the essentially point that you were making, Nick, which is that this is an average beer that has some sort of marketing genius in Wisconsin, makes everybody fawn over it, and therefore is, quote-unquote, better than it actually is? Does Beer Advocate have an answer for that?
Let's go to our Beer Advocate score, Joe. The BA score is 83.
Hold on, what was that?
Drum roll,
Yep.
please.
Drums like
Nailed
we've
it.
always heard. Drums like people like rubbing a stick over like some sea amenities.
Amenities?
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 Amenities,
Or
like-
amenities?
I love sea
Anemones.
amenities.
Nemo.
The amenities we get from the sea, the treadmill room.
Yes. But please, the drum roll is completed. It's been done.
Okay,
and
get
it's
to
an
the Beer Advocate
83.
score.
It's an 83
Three.
from 3,500 rating. So a lot of
Wowza.
ratings.
A lot of Wisconsinites
yeah,
chiming in,
Yeah.
visiting Wisconsin.
Yeah. The people of age in Wisconsin are coming out strong for Beer Advocate on Spotted Cow.
Okay.
So yeah, it's Beer Advocate describes it as a cream ale. So I don't know what the delineation is there between that and a farmhouse ale.
Farmhouse ale.
But then 4.8% alcohol. Yes, year-round availability. Brewed in New Glarus, Wisconsin. 83, good.
We have not had many goods.
We have not. So this is when we get to that ratings part of the show. This is going to be up there.
Okay. Well, I think that's what makes this part of the show interesting. But before we get to the ratings, let's go to the mailbag. Should we go to the mailbag? Sound the alarm?
Open up the mailbag.
Open up the mailbag.
Open
Open up the mailbag. Open up the mailbag. Open up the mailbag. Open up the mailbag.
the mailbag.
Open up
I'm
the
gonna
mailbag.
stop. I'm gonna
I'm gonna
stop.
stop. Open up the mailbag. I'm gonna
the
stop.
can.
Open up the mailbag.
Crack
I'm gonna
the
stop.
can.
Okay.
Crack the can. It's a mailbag. Hey, check the mailbag. Joe.
Hey, check the mailbag. I'm checking it. All right. So we're going to the Twitter mailbag. We have had a flurry of Twitter activity recently. A lot of it coming from @Zach Dressler, who is telling us @Cold Cans Podcast. Presumably, this is a man with no job, because for the last 3 days he has been texting us pictures of a wonderful Cold Cans koozie out on a lake, guarding what appears to be a bush light. Which, if I know @Zach Dressler well enough, that's a guy who enjoys a bush light. At one point, he's got a picture of his baby thumbing the bush light, and he says, "Youngest member of the nation," and we have to say that we agree it's the youngest. Oh, mama, youngest member of the nation. Follow
Our
us.
lawyers will say we do not accept this young person as a member. Cold Cans.
She better not be drinking in that bush light, Zach Dressler. Follow us @Cold Cans Podcast on Twitter. So let's get to the rankings. We're on. How about I read off? I don't know, every
All of
single
them?
ranking.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
all
Yep.
of them.
Top to
Number
bottom,
1,
please.
Rodenbach Grand Cru, then Deschutes Swivelhead Red, Kona Longboard, Crikey IPA, Rainier, Blatz, Palisades Pineapple, Eyinger Brauweiss, Eyinger, Rolling Rock, Chefenhofer Hefeweizen, Grapefruit, the Beer, Molson, Miller 64, Miller Lite, Budweiser, Olympia, O'Doul's, and Smirnoff Ice.
Was Michelob in there? I feel like you're overlooking Michelob, which we both loved.
I think
right there between Molson and Miller 64.
I leapt over Michelob. There was a lot of alliteration there. Molson, Michelob, Miller 64, Miller Lite.
As the popular rap song goes.
Yeah, of course. The
Molson, Michelob,
Miller
Molson 64,
64,
Miller Lite.com.
grapefruit
There's-
beer. All right. So somewhere in there, including Michelob Ultra, where are we going to slide in Spotted Cow? I think we put the onus on the bonus, and we start with you, my wife,
What?
Devon Glocke.
You almost said Devin Crawford too. That was
I did?
That was real close. I think it's got it. Let me see that. I can't.
Rodenbach Grand Cru,
So
Deschutes
I'm trying to think of the
Red.
ones that I've actually had in that top half there.
Devin's looking
I've
at the
had-
Jumbotron we have in studio with the rankings displayed.
You're probably looking at Kona Longboard, Rainier, Blatz,
So I'm
Rolling
gonna
Rock.
put it in the top quadrant there.
top quadrant. So
Top
what would you put
quadrant,
ahead
so-
of? That's the biggest thing, because we will not go below what you put it ahead of.
Well, it's definitely got to be ahead of Rainier.
Okay.
It's a bigger beer. Like it just tastes like more beer than Rainier does. And Rainier's just a shitty cheap beer. For lack of better terms.
Don't be afraid to think big here, Dev.
You don't think
Put it
that
up
you don't
higher.
think that Rainier's branding is every bit
No.
as good as New Glarus's branding for Spotted Cow?
Maybe the branding is good, but I think the beer tastes better.
Why?
Because of what I just said. It's like an actual lager or cream ale. It has some depth to it. Not. I don't want to say you like have to
Rainier's just
chew it.
another,
Yeah,
like,
it's
stale.
yeah. Rainier you can get for $1. Even in Wisconsin, you can't get Spotted Cow for $1. Like it's not. It's worth more than that.
I buy it. I buy it. Okay.
So Crikey IPA Kona Longboard. I'm a fan of Kona. Is Crikey by Reuben's Brews?
Crikey's Reuben's Brews out of
Okay.
Ballard.
Okay. So I'm gonna put it somewhere in there, just because I know Kona. I did not drink Rodenbach or Deschutes Swivelhead Red,
You
but
put
I
it
like
after
Reuben's.
Kona?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're putting it
that's
4.
my tentative, but I'm not the host here.
Got it.
What are
So
you guys?
Devon's putting
host
it-
with the most. What do you
Devin
have to
putting
say?
it a new number 4 after Rodenbach, Deschutes, and Kona. Patriot, what do you think?
Oh, man. I want to put this baby right at the top.
Oh, hey,
I wanna bring it to the top.
Sound the alarm.
Whoa!
You're the guy. Hold on. Pump the brakes.
Hey. Now I want to adjust my rankings.
You're
I know.
the guy.
I told you to think big. We got to put this fucker up there.
You're
I
the
wanted
guy-
you to like put it high so then I could just bump it up 2. But now I got to bring it above like 4
screw-
beers.
no.
You sat
screw
at the
Kona.
top. You sat at the top and said, "This is overrated beer." Now reconcile.
He got the
Taste wise, I think it's certainly overrated. In terms of the feeling people get when they like present it to their friends. Like I said with when Devin and I talked about that, you bring it back to your table. You're like, I'm the king of the world. I brought you Spotted Cow.
Right.
Drink
Bow
from
down.
drink
Bow
from my coffers.
down.
Bow down. Kiss
You
the
know
boot.
you're in Wisconsin when you see Spotted Cow.
Yes. When you've said Spotted Cow, you've said it all, as they say. But I don't know. I like this beer. It went down really well. I think it goes down better than Kona Longboard. And a big thing with our Kona ranking was that we had it in Hawaii originally.
Yep.
And I think when I go back to Madison, Wisconsin, where I probably first had this beer,
Hold on. Yeah. When's the first time you had this beer?
I don't exactly recall, but it was probably in Madison. Do you remember when yours was?
It was also in Madison, but I was 18 years old and an older man. And hey, look, if
That's
you're gonna
illegal.
the
drinking
statute
age.
of limitations are up.
No police officer in America.
A gentleman by the name of Dave Zeese let me into a beautiful bar by the name of the Karaoke Kid. And I think it's the first time that I had a Spotted Cow, and it was fucking glorious. It was everything that I had ever heard of.
Did you have a sake bomb into a Spotted Cow by chance? Because that's what you did at the Karaoke Kid.
Sure, it's possible, but I think he
Okay.
was like, "Hey, you're just a child. Try a Spotted Cow." And I was like, "Wow, this is a fantastic beer."
Put this in your sippy cup. Was it on tap or was it a bottle?
It was
Do you
a bottle.
remember? Okay.
Probably bottom.
And I was like, "Hey, I think the marketing alone at the time got me." I was like, "All I've been drinking is stuff I could get my hands on when I was 16 years old, and this is something that's real." So it was glorious.
They've built it up so well, yeah.
Yeah.
The marketing
Really,
aspect,
yeah.
and I think, like I said before, is at the cusp of the craft brewery thing.
right.
I have a friend or an acquaintance rather, not a friend, would not consider them a friend. Take that off the record. Who said their father invested in New Glarus Brewing like early on, like in the
shit,
late
yeah.
90s or early 2000s, and now he's obviously made his money back plus a ton because they've expanded throughout the state of Wisconsin and are doing very well. And will probably get bought by somebody and expand even further. So
yeah.
I think that that aspect of it makes it widely popular. Let's get back to the ratings.
So where are you gonna put it?
Rodenbach Grand Cru, as our friend Corcor said, shitty wine. He
come
sold me on shitty wine.
Come on.
No, it's a good beer. It's a good beer. But goddamn, if this doesn't bring back good memories
Okay.
Good
and
memories
make you
and
feel
drinkable. So all of your guys' ratings are drinkability and like cost too. I mean, I don't
True.
remember how much Spotted Cow costs. And again, we had
It
to
costs
discuss
less than
is-
Rodenbach.
Rodenbach.
certainly
Grand Cru.
costs
Yeah.
best
It
and
costs
and
less
probably
than Swivelhead Red.
yeah.
and probably I don't. Did I say above Crikey IPA, Rubens?
You did,
It's a
and it
littler
probably costs
brewery.
about the same as Kona. So value-wise, you have a good point.
This is at least ahead of Kona in my book, and ahead of Deschutes Swivelhead Red.
I put
So
it there too.
I think it's competing with Rodenbach.
Okay. So where are you going to put it? I agree. So for me, it's either 1 or 2. And this is a big drum roll. But
Should I do my
yeah,
very
you should do
realistic-
the see amenities.
See amenities.
Here, I got a different one for you. This take two. All right, cut. Take 2.
Go. Oh!
That's all I had. One
Again.
breathful.
Nailed
One breathful. Okay, Rodenbach versus Spotted Cow. Joe, tell me your thoughts.
Okay. I had Rodenbach, and it surprised me. It gave me this is the best beer I've ever had in my entire life feeling. But that is the feeling that Spotted Cow gave me when Mr. Zeese let me into the Karaoke Kid as a young, prepubescent, let's say post-pubescent boy of 19. So certainly post-pubescent. Let's not get into my pubescency.
Oh boy.
Both times, I was exposed
Oh, boy.
to a man. No. Both times I was exposed to a beer that was the best beer that I'd ever had in my life. At this point,
My life.
Rodenbach that I've ever had in my life. Rodenbach at this point, I think, was like something that we were doing in this podcast. It was technical. I felt that I should think it was the best beer I've ever had. But Spotted Cow has something, again, at my wife's wedding and I, that we brought there. It's something that I've brought throughout my life. I don't care if you think that it's something that marketing has propagated. It's my favorite beer of all time. And I'm putting New Glarus' Spotted Cow as our new number 1.
Who might argue with that? It's a great goddamn beer. It's just my contrarian nature that tells me to say it's not as great as it is.
Devin, thank you for being on the podcast.
Of course.
We
Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
Thank you, Devin. Great to have you here.
Yeah.
We're here. We're drinking beer. Get used to it.
The Cold Cans podcast is recorded in the Overcast Room at Cloud Studios in Seattle, Washington. Visit cloudstudiosseattle.com